There's one concept that every successful venture capitalist lives by, and that's finding asymmetric opportunities. The rare setup where you can risk a little bit of capital for a legitimate shot at astronomical returns. And these are the kind of plays that I personally like to make. I like to look at smaller, higher risk categories of investments where I can invest a little bit of capital and potentially make a lot of money. And the downside of asymmetric bets is they're highly risky. I've had times where I've invested, $1,000 or $2,000 and watched it go down 50, 70, or in some cases 90%. On the other end of the spectrum, I've had times where I've invested $760 and watched it turn into $150,000. Or I had one time where I invested $3,000 and watched it turn into over $600,000. And I've had multiple times where I've invested $5,000 and watched it turn into $15,000 or $20,000 or $30,000, etc. Asymmetric bets are a double-edged sword. They're really, really risky, but sometimes you get that 1 out of 10 that just does insanely well. And today I'm breaking down my latest asymmetric bet, an AI agent platform called Avo with currently less than 2,500 holders and a market cap that is just ridiculously tiny today. And in my opinion, this is a textbook scenario where the downside is capped. If you invest $1,000, the most you could lose is that $1,000. But the upside potential when you factor in a coming alt season and just the fact that I believe when retail shows up, they're going to be just foaming at the mouth for anything related to AI, because AI is just going to be by and far, in my opinion, the single hottest narrative of this cycle. The upside potential for a project like this is uncapped. It's basically limitless. It's not actually limitless, but it could go a lot higher than most people expect. And so that's just the literal definition of something like an asymmetric type play. In this video, I'll walk through my thesis, why I'm bullish about this project, as well as like the potential pitfalls and things that, could throw this off course and cause me to lose my entire investment, what this project does, the roadmap, and a ton more. Let's dive in. Okay, first off, I know there's quite a few of you guys who just can't resist yourself. You're itching to go buy this token because here I am on YouTube, this authority figure, and I'm talking about a token. So you just think, it's going to go up and you should throw your life savings into it. I promise you, if that worked, we would all be rich because all you would have to do is watch a YouTuber talk about a token, throw your money in, and you'd make a ton of money. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And quite a few times, in fact, I would say the majority of the time, if somebody on YouTube is talking about a token and you just throw your money in, you're more likely to lose it than you are not. So it's very, very important for you to actually listen to the thesis behind this and make your own decision before you throw, money in to some random token that I'm talking about. Secondly, I want to say that I'm not paid or sponsored in any way to talk about this project. If you've been following me for the past 2 years, you know that the tokens I've been talking about 2 years ago, in most cases, I am still talking about today. I still hold those tokens today. I have not sold any in the majority of those cases and have only bought more of those tokens. I don't talk about tokens because I think it's going to get me views. I don't talk about tokens because someone pays me. I talk about tokens because I believe when alt season comes, that is going to be a token that performs well. Avo, in my opinion, is one of the single most underrated crypto tokens out on the market today. Currently, last I checked, it was sitting at a market cap of around $600,000, which is absurd given how strong the narrative is for this platform, how well the execution is for this platform, the fact that it's on Solana, and just the potential drivers that could drive it a lot higher, in my opinion, in the future. It's a platform where AI agents trade assets on your behalf. And here's how it works. Avo has a range of different agents that perform different tasks. For example, some of these agents are wallet tracker agents, where they have a specific wallet that they're tracking, and every time that wallet buys something, that agent buys that same thing right after. And users can give that agent access to some of their tokens. So if a user comes and they send, $1,000 in SOL to this agent, that agent will trade that $1,000 of SOL on their behalf. In this case, buying and selling, whatever tokens the wallet this is tracking buys and sells. But on top of that, the user can actually specify different safety measures or trading protection levels for the AI agent to use when it comes to trading their tokens. For example, at the guarded protection level, if the wallet that this AI agent is tracking buys a token that's less than $1 million, then the AI agent will skip it on your behalf. However, if you go all the way to the opposite end of the spectrum, to the degen protection level, even if the token is sitting at $10,000 in market cap, the AI agent will still buy it. So it depends on your trading strategy, your risk level, but you can actually set on each different agent the trading protection level that you want the AI agent to use when it's tracking this wallet. Another type of AI agent is the KOL tracker agent. This is really similar to a wallet tracker agent, except it tracks specifically a KOL. So in some cases, that might be a single wallet. In other cases, that might be multiple wallets. KOLs are just key opinion leaders. So it's like they're tracking YouTubers, tracking different influencers on X, different influencers on TikTok, etc. Whatever they buy, exactly when they buy it, this bot will buy that same thing, again, depending on your trading protection level. The third type of agent they have is an index agent. Index agents hold a basket of various different tokens. For example, in this case, this is the CoinGecko trending coins. So whatever the CoinGecko trending coins are, this is what this index is going to hold. You can imagine indexes of the top AI tokens on Solana. You can imagine indexes of the top DeFi tokens, the top DePIN tokens, the top meme coins on Solana, top meme coins on Base. You get the idea. The cool thing is, as I mentioned earlier, anyone can create these indexes. And I know I'll talk about the roadmap a little bit later, but I know one of the things they're wanting to do is to make this process as easy as Pump.Fund launching a meme coin. It's going to be really easy, just like click, launch your own trading agent, launch your own index, etc. And you're going to be able to put together an index of different tokens you think are going to perform well. Or maybe you go watch my YouTube video and you put together an index of like, here's the tokens that Jesse talks about, etc. Whatever you think is going to perform the best. And as the creator of that index, you'll get, I think it's 50% of the fees that index generates. So if that index ends up blowing up and doing well and it gets like $10 million, $20 million under management or something crazy, you'll get 50% of those fees as the index creator. So this incentivizes a lot of different indexes to get created, but in my opinion is a really bullish catalyst for what AVO is. Because you can imagine different people like me, like, maybe let's say I make my own index of like tokens I think are going to do well. And I talk about it on my channel because I know, hey, I'm going to get 50% of those fees. So I'm like, hey, you guys check this out. It's a cool index. Maybe it's my portfolio, whatever. That would drive a ton of volume to the AVO platform and kind of acts as like a built-in marketing mechanism. Like I'm not getting paid. I'm just going out there marketing for them. In this instance, I don't have an index at the current time or anything like that. I'm just trying to explain how it works. That would act as free marketing where, they're not having to pay KOLs to go shill them. Like these people are just building their own indexes and shilling them on their own, which I think is a really bullish catalyst for AVO. The final kind of agent they currently have is a reasoning agent. And this is like an advanced form of their AI agents that uses much more complex reasoning processes that allows the AI agent based on those processes and its own reasoning to go and trade tokens on your behalf. Currently, the only reasoning agent they have is the Paperhead agent. This was created by the lead dev behind AVO. You can see these are the current tokens that the agent holds. It uses various forms of sentiment, real-time news, and on-chain data when it comes to making its various trades. And you can see some of these agents have done extremely well. This one's over the last month's done 956%. This one's done 424%. This one's done 118%. In the moderate section, this one's done 335. This one's done 279, 193. And in the guarded section, this one's done 417, 143, 71. And having kind of watched these bots over the last month and a half, I have kind of noticed that various different ones cycle in that top position. So it's almost like a little bit of survivorship bias where, it's similar to like meme coins where you have like this one that does really, really well, but your odds of having gotten into that meme coin early, it was really difficult to do that. It's not really easy to have found that meme coin specifically early. You just get to see the ones that do win and do well. And it's kind of similar to that, to where you have some of these bots that do really well because, whatever tokens they're holding end up, going up a lot. But that certainly doesn't mean that they'll continue to perform at that level. So you definitely want to be careful when you're jumping into those to make sure you're picking ones that are consistently good. And you want to go actually into the chart for each one and see kind of where that outperformance ended up coming from. You can see from this one, this is the moment it went live on AVO. And you can see the outperformance came from like a basket of different assets. It looks like some of those are meme coins. But whoever bought into this bot when it went live on AVO has experienced the outperformance because the performance came later down the line where this thing went up quite a bit from some of those different tokens just really popping off versus another agent like this. This is a KOL tracker agent. You can see this is the moment it went live on AVO. And if you would have got in at that point, you'd actually be down, not up, even though over the past 30 days, this has gone up 100%. So, if you got in, I guess, 30 days ago, you'd be up. But in general, this one actually has been on the decline for a little bit as those tokens have depreciated in value. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, one of my really big bull cases for this platform is the idea that anyone could come in here and create their own agent. Again, it's kind of difficult right now. It's not super easy to do at the moment. But if they do make it in there, that's what they're planning on. They're planning on shipping it to where it's as easy as launching a meme coin on pump.fun. If they make it that easy, I can see a lot of people coming in here and experimenting with different baskets of assets, different ways to create agents, hoping to outperform and kind of, rake in those fees from that outperformance. And I could also see a lot of different influencers. Like one of the number one things I get asked is like, how do I buy your portfolio? Like I want to buy into the same things that you're buying into. And I'm really careful about that. Like I feel like I'm one of the more cautious people where I'm like, hey, actually go do your own research. Maybe you shouldn't do that. But most influencers are not like that. Like they're just like, oh yeah, go buy my bags. That sounds great. Like please go do that. And they'd be happy if everyone was going and buying their bags. And really one of the biggest hurdles is just really difficult to do. It's difficult for people to go buy influencer bags because you got to know how to go to all these different places, find these all different contract addresses. But if you could just one click in a creator's portfolio, one click buy into all those tokens, there'd be a lot more people buying those bags. That makes it a lot easier for retail to go and buy those bags. And at the same time, the creator's actually raking in a fee from more people using that AI agent. And I've seen enough different like KOLs, YouTubers, etc. Like they love that affiliate money. Like some of those people, they go so freaking hard on all their affiliate deals for not even that much money. But the ones that do generate fees, like if this is actually pretty decent revenue for those creators, they'll push it really, really hard. And that becomes a pretty insane flywheel if you think about it over time when it comes to the adoption of the AVO platform. Taking a look at the AVO roadmap. Right now, users can utilize the AVO token to pay transaction fees within the platform, earning 25% discount for all transactions that are paid with AVO tokens. Agents can be created and funded directly with the AVO token. This functionality will serve as the initial entry point for users to engage in the platform. Upon closing a position or taking profits, all funds are settled and returned to the token or to the user in AVO tokens. And this is their implementation roadmap. You can see all the different things that they're planning on do, their target date for when they plan to have that done. You can see which ones have been completed, how early they were completed or late. In most cases, these things have all been completed early. And here's what I personally think is just absolutely insanely stupid right now. This thing is sitting at $600,000 in market cap, which doesn't make absolutely any sense to me given think of all this really stupid ideas out there in crypto that are sitting like much higher like some of them like 100 million, 1 billion market cap, and they're just completely useless, stupid ideas. Where this one actually has a really easy to understand, incredible path towards like, here's how I could build revenue. Here's where it's useful. It makes it really easy to buy into either complex strategies or portfolios. And remember, this is one of the pitfalls of index. One of the reasons they pivoted away from indexes to leverage tokens is leverage tokens were a lot more profitable and indexes were really, really difficult to do. And I don't think they fully pivoted away. I think they're still going to do indexes, but bootstrapping the liquidity for those indexes is insanely hard. But the AVO team has found a way around that using AI agents to just go and buy the tokens on their own. So it's like a completely different approach to this same problem. And I can see an extremely high likelihood of given an alt season, like you have a lot of retail coming on here, like they don't know how to do a lot of these complex things. But if they could one click, like they're used to using Phantom, some of these guys have been buying meme coins. If they could one click into a basket, a portfolio of assets, I think a lot of them would do that. And right now, AVO is completely restricted to just Solana. So when it comes to creating these indexes, when it comes to creating these trading strategies, it's just on Solana tokens. But where I get extremely bullish is as they expand to other chains, as they expand to Base and Arbitrum and Ethereum, etc. Imagine where you could build out like a full index of various tokens across chains. So I could go and literally share my entire portfolio and be like, here's my portfolio. You can one click buy into it and it buys all the tokens on Base you need, all the tokens on Ethereum you need, all the tokens on Solana you need. One click, the AI agent does it all for you. That's where I get insanely bullish because that it's already insanely useful just on Solana, but it becomes like astronomically more useful as you go to more chains. Okay, as far as price targets or how high I think this thing could potentially go, starting at the like ultra conservative end. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. This is just my personal opinion, just for speculation. Entertainment purposes only. Don't take this too seriously. I cannot actually predict the future. I am no wizard. If AVO were just to reach the current market cap of Index, which Index itself is really small, it's sitting under $10 million in market cap. It's ridiculously tiny. It's considered a tiny cap itself. If the price of AVO were to grow to just the size of Index, that would be a 17x from today's current prices. And I think that's completely reasonable given, Index is also a really obscure tiny cap that no one really talks about either. In my more middle ground case, which is still insanely conservative, this isn't even really a bull case. This is just a more bullish than my ultra conservative case would be like if it grew to the size of Research Coin, which today is a very small cap, currently sitting at 43 million in market cap. But go ask anyone in the crypto space. Most people have never heard of Research Coin because it's so tiny today. But if AVO were to grow to just the size of Research Coin, that would be a 75x from today's prices, which is crazy because, again, Research Coin, obscure small cap token. If AVO were to grow to just that size, it would be a 75x from today's prices. And then jumping from super conservative to like really bullish and kind of out there would be if it grew to the size of Uniswap. And this isn't even Uniswap at its all-time high. This is just Uniswap at its price today. At its all-time high, it was actually significantly higher. It was about 4 times higher than it is currently. But currently it's sitting around $6 billion in market cap. Given an alt season, given a lot of bullish momentum, especially if they were to, able to accomplish half of what I'm talking about, where, some creators were using them, pulling in revenue. People were kind of speculating on it in a pumpish fashion, launching their own portfolios. They were generating tons of fees. Maybe they implement some sort of buyback or something like that. All these things were to come together. Hitting $6 billion in an alt season isn't unheard of. Further out on the probability spectrum, in that small, slim, let's say 5% outcome, 10%, 5%, somewhere in there, that would be a 11,261x, turning every $1,000 invested into $11.26 million. Obviously, that'd be an insane outcome. Again, way out there on the probability, but kind of gives you an idea of the different spectrums of possible outcomes, all the way from the first two were insanely conservative. This one's insanely bullish. As far as where to buy AVO, currently you can only buy AVO on chain. You're not going to be able to get it on Coinbase. You're not going to be able to get it on an exchange. You got to go on chain to buy it. Most people are somewhat familiar with interacting on Solana, so you got to have a Phantom wallet. You can go on MagicMoni, connect your Phantom wallet, and just buy it right here. So that makes it really easy. Again, there's a link in the description of this video. As always, again, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me telling you to buy AVO tokens. This is an asymmetric bet. That means it carries a high level of risk. So the most you could lose in this trade would be however much you invest. Like that is always the case with these smaller tokens. They're very, very, very risky. That's why I call it an asymmetric bet. You could potentially make a ton of money, but it's a smaller project. It's early in its life cycle, just like any startup. That means it could have problems and different things that could cause it to go way lower or go to zero or whatever. Even in venture capital, it's like 90% of startups end up failing. So, high risk, high reward, never invest more than you can lose. And if you're curious about seeing my entire portfolio, or you want to see every time I buy and sell various tokens, as well as different weekly video market updates, currently the Obsidian Council is closed to new members, but you can sign up for the waitlist in the description of this video. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.